Welcome back to Business Bliss Workshop. We are here to help you take any idea, turn it into a plan, own your mind, get into inspired action, and create new results today. There is so much magic in this formula that we're going to teach you throughout this workshop that it could change your life if you allow it to. I love teaching Business Bliss, and we've been teaching it for years. And every time we do it, I create something new in my life. And everybody usually manifests or creates something as well. Now, there is one rule, reminder, one major rule. This one major rule that we need to stick to through the whole workshop is to stay in a state of possibility. So there's two sides to the coin, fear, worry, and doubt, possibility and positivity. And we have decided to participate with Business Bliss. And so for the rest of the week, we're only going to stay in a state of possibility and be positive. So anytime negative thoughts come your way, you're going to cancel them. You're going to observe them and then move along from them, and you're going to let them go, and you're going to turn back to what it is that you desire. Because our mind thinks in pictures and it comes to pass. The environment is but our looking glass. So if we look at our current results, it'll tell us where our thoughts, feelings, and actions have been previously. And so if we want new results, we have to change our thinking. So let's talk about this formula. Most people have the same thoughts, which cause them to have the same feelings, and they have the same actions and then the same results. And they look at those same results and they have the same thoughts, same feelings, take the same actions and the same energy and get the same results. And they're often in this loop over and over again. Sometimes it gets a little bit better, and yet it often goes back to the same. So how do we begin to change the results? We're going to first start by generating a new idea. So much magic in new ideas. So a new idea could look like, I am turning my yearly income into my monthly income. I'm manifesting an income property. I'm launching a business. I'm relaunching my business. I'm in a happy and healthy relationship. Whatever that new idea is for you, this is going to then begin for you to have new thoughts that you didn't have before. They say people that earn six figures don't think thoughts of people who earn seven figures. So you want to start to act as if, enter the spirit of it, embody it to become it. And when you start to have these thoughts that you would have and these ideas that you would have, if that goal was already achieved, then we begin to behave differently. And so we have our new idea, and we are going to most importantly commit to it. So let's pause and talk about that for a second, because for a lot of people, they're 1 foot in and they're 1 foot out. They do it when they feel like it, or if it's easy or convenient, and they are trying. But what I want you to do is be all in. So you must decide, be committed, burn the boats. Once you have this new idea, you turn it into a goal, and you must decide and commit and cancel everything else. Otherwise, our mind and the universal laws will work against us instead of for us. So we generated our new idea. We're fully committed. We're only going to now entertain the positive thoughts. Now, when you come back tomorrow, we're going to create what we call a future memory. Visualization, the state of the goal achieved, so we can begin to embody it and have the thoughts that we would have with the goal achieved. And so ideas, thoughts. And here's the thing, a lot of people stay here. They don't move into planning or action. For a lot of people, they have so many amazing ideas, and then their thoughts take them out. They say, that's hard. How are you going to do that? You've never done that before. You don't know anyone who's done that before. And all these negative beliefs, our unconscious ego wants to keep us safe in the same, and it will come in to pull you out of this new desire you just committed to. So that's why number one rule in Business Bliss is to own your thoughts and stay in possibility and positivity. So we've got our new idea, we're committed, we've turned it into a goal, we're all in. Then we're going to own our thoughts. We're going to embody it to become it. We're going to create future memories. And then we move into planning stage. Now, a lot of people, they stay here as well. They plan, yet never get into action. And one of the things that has plans fail is that people create from where they are instead of from the end in mind. And so it's super important that we decide what we want and then we reverse engineer our plan from there, from the end in mind instead of from where we are. Because if we create from where we are, we will only get more of the same. And many people say, I'll do this when I. And that's reverse manifesting. We actually need to do the thing, and then we attract the right people, places, circumstances, and opportunities. So you're going to put a plan into place on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we're also going to begin to get into action, the fourth stage and most important stage of manifesting. Now, some people, they'll get into action, yet they're missing one of the key ingredients, belief. So they're taking the actions begrudgingly. They're kind of doing it and not fully. And even if they do the thing, they don't do it in the energy of belief and possibility. And so we want you to get into inspired action, take the action that breeds the largest result in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort, and do it with belief. Because whatever the mind of the man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And so as we go through all of this, I need you to truly believe in yourself and your dreams and a state of possibility. So ideas, thought, plan, action, belief. Those are our 5 keys we're going to go through this week. So today we're doing ideas. Tuesday we're doing thoughts. Wednesday we're going to do plan and action. And then on Thursday we have a bonus open house mastermind session to come get support and get into action and make a commitment to an action you're going to take to help breed the results right now. And then on Friday, we have our bonus belief session. This is also our heart-led sales session. And what I love about this is we are selling you on your dreams and teaching you the art of sales at the same time. Now we have a bonus recap session for you guys next Monday. So you'll have all weekend to catch the replays if you're catching up. And then we will be diving into a full overcap and recap and open Q&A. So you can come in, ask me questions, get support. And I will be staying for a little bit after for everyone on Zoom for each session, just to answer questions quickly once we're done. So if you do have questions at the end, you're welcome to stay until we're done recording and casting, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And of course, as we're going throughout, if you're live with us, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. And if you're there on Facebook, you're going to want to go to ownitempire.com and register for Business Bliss workshops so that you can come and join us in the Zoom room. Now, we do have prizes to be giving away. So we had our bonus session on building your sales funnels and owning your sales last week. And from those who registered, who attended, and also booked their vision casting call, or are referring or sharing about the workshop, you're going into a draw for prizes. And so Teresa, congratulations. You are our first Business Bliss winner, and you get a power hour session with me. This is a value of $400 where you and I are going to work together one-on-one. Woohoo! Yeah, exactly. I love it. I'm super excited. And I will send you an email later today so you can book that session so I can support you on anything you want, self and business mastery. And so make sure you're registered, booking that vision casting call. Vision casting call is my gift to you. This is an opportunity to come and strategize around your goal, create a visualization of the goal achieved. And I'm using a timeline therapy NLP technique where we are going to have you meditate and visualize, and we're going to drop that into your unconscious mind, that future goal, a picture of the goal achieved. And so if you've done this with us before, amazing, book another one, because we're always evolving and expanding. And I would love to hear what you're up to and create that new vision. So without further ado, let's dive into the workbook. So make sure that you have the workbook so that you can follow along and join us. There is magic in the doing. Okay, so it's one thing to show up. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you for showing up and giving us your time. Your time is the one thing you don't get back, and you're willing to spend it on you and with us through this workshop. So thank you so much. And I encourage you to take a little bit of time, if you don't get the workbook done during the sessions, after the sessions, and fill out the workbook. There's questions in here that will really help guide you to create and co-create what you want with more ease and success, and give you so much more insight into everything that you want to create and yourself. So first in the workshop, we always ask you to set your intentions. There's the book called The Magic. It's a 28-day gratitude practice. And one of the exercises is to set your daily outcomes, or your daily magical outcomes. And what this is before the day starts, you look at your day and you decide how it's going to go. You look at the things on your calendar and you decide what is the outcome that is going to happen from each one of these things that you have on your calendar. So you begin to consciously co-create and decide on that magical outcome. So I'd like you to set some outcomes and intentions from this workshop. There is the law of observation, and that means when we observe something in our reality and we put an expectation on it, it impacts the results on a quantum physics level. So setting your intentions and deciding your outcomes that you'd like to get from this workshop can actually change your experience of the workshop. So what are 3 things you would like to gain from this round of Business Bliss? And then we asked you to write 3 gratitudes. And so you can do intentional gratitudes or regular gratitudes. An attitude of gratitude is essential for success because we truly do win or lose in the mind first, and we can't be grateful and a victim at the same time. And we attract who we're being. And so we want to begin to stay in an energy of gratitude. So if you can write 3 things you're grateful for and why right now, that will switch your state and even start changing the way you're using your brain. Now, I do a daily gratitude practice, and I highly encourage you do the same. If you wanted to do intentional gratitude, it looks like looking at the different areas of your life that are not working and change the energy around it. What can you be grateful for about that in that experience? If we're having negative thoughts about the experience, we're only going to create more negative things, right? So instead, I want you to look at what's not working and what can you be grateful for from it? And that will start to change your experience and your results. So let's dive into session 1. Let's manifest. There's so much power behind an idea, a desire, an obsession, a decision. And it's so important that we don't just try. As I mentioned, in your unconscious mind, when we state that we're going to try something, it says you have not decided. And so there's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system, or your RA, and it works like a filter. It deletes, distorts, and generalizes incoming information. You are only consciously computing around 100 bits of information per second, and then 11 million bits unconsciously per second. Let me say that again. 11 million. So about 99.9% of all the incoming information you are unconsciously computing, and it's going through your RA, and it's getting deleted, distorted, and generalized based on your unconscious programming, the model of the world you grew up in, the beliefs that you were conditioned to have, and where your focus and energy is. And you know, when they say where your focus goes, energy grows, it means literally your brain is filtering and focusing on what you are focusing on. So when you say, I'm going to try, the brain goes, oh, they haven't decided. We'll just delete all that information that could help them get there. They don't need it yet. And so that's why I need you to decide. I love Grant Cardone's book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And the really magic part about that is it does have to be an obsession, a burning desire, because there are going to be obstacles that come your way to have you grow and change. And when they come, if we're not obsessed and all in and decided, then we'll most likely give up or turn back. 80% of the population will decide on a goal, jump in, and when it gets difficult, they will try to go back to where they are. Yet the chicken can't go back in the egg because you know you really want what's over there. And so there's so much magic in having an idea, turning it into a goal, deciding on it, committing, turning it into an obsession. And as Napoleon Hill would say, a burning desire. In the book Think and Grow Rich, there is one of the key chapters and key principles to success and to Think and Grow Rich is to have a burning desire. That means you're all in. It's an obsession. You've decided, you've committed. It's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or doing it when it's convenient. It's a desire, a burning desire, something you want so much. So how do you turn a goal into a burning desire? You have to know why you want it. So what is it that you want and why? The why is the emotion, the language of the unconscious mind, energy in motion. And it is what is going to have you show up for you no matter what comes your way. So we're all in. I know we haven't set the goal yet, but we are now beginning to understand what is essential for goal achievement. So you have to really, really, really want it and put a plan into place and stay in inspired action, and then constantly goal, plan, do, review. A lot of people set a goal and they don't review along the way. And then they just keep trying so many more and more strategies, especially in business. And then they're doing a lot of things kind of well and overwhelmed. That's why within our programs and community, we always goal, plan, do, and then review every quarter, delete what's not working, multiply what is, and process improve. And so your goal may not change, your plan may though, and that's why we goal, plan, do, review. So the process of manifesting and goal achievement is ideas, thought, plan, action, and belief. So let go of what has your desires blocked and what lies in your unconscious mind. And when you think about this, sometimes a good way to think about it is, what lies are you telling yourself? It's too hard. I can't do it. I don't have enough time, energy, money. There's a lot of limiting beliefs that have us blocked. And so that's in our thoughts. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I just really wanted to bring that up because when you do go to decide on this goal today, those limiting beliefs are going to start to show up for you. And I want you to acknowledge them as lies you have been telling yourself because you have been conditioned to believe it to be true. And everything just is what it is. Nothing's good or bad, right or wrong, except for what you make it. And so you are going to decide what beliefs you are going to believe. And those limiting beliefs and negative emotions and thoughts that you were conditioned to have, we're going to begin to let them go. We be an observer of them, and then we let them go, and we come back to that state of possibility and positivity. So we're going to begin this week to step into the state of the goal achieved. And there's a really great book called The Feeling is the Secret. And so what this is going to have you do is go and take the action in the energy of the goal achieved. Okay, so remember I said earlier, some people get into action, yet they do it begrudgingly. They don't do it with belief. Instead, we're going to create a future memory this week, step into the energy and the state of the goal achieved, and take action in that energy with expectancy and setting our desired outcomes. So now that we've done an overview of the key principles of today, it's time to dive into the workbook. So the first question I'd like to ask you is, what is the legacy you want to leave? What's your vision for your life? And this question, it doesn't have to be an exact goal right now. Like, you don't have to turn this into a SMART goal. I want you to just think about the concept of your life. What is the quality of life you want to leave? What does life look like for you? What does your best life look like for you? And this is really going to require you to get into a state of possibility. So I want you to imagine I waved a magic wand and I said you could be, do, or have whatever it is that you desire. What is it? What do you truly want? I mean, really, really want. What do you want your schedule to look like? How much money would you like to be earning? What do you want your net worth to be? Where do you want to live? How many children, the home, the business? And I want you to really start to dream about that quality of business, that dream business that you're building around your dream life and the impact that you get to leave. Now, you're actually leaving your legacy with every interaction that you have with your family, with your friends, with your clients. And I want you to really start to show up as that version of you with your goal achieved today instead of someday. So, what do you really want? What's your vision for your life? Take a moment, think about that, and write it down. Now, as you're writing that down, I'm going to explain the next exercise, which is my favorite thing to do, and probably one of my favorite parts of Business Bliss, because I usually manifest at least one thing on it super easily, and that's amazing. And so, what this is your universal shopping list. And so you're like, what is that? I want you to imagine you could be to or have whatever it is that you want, anything right now. And I want you just to write it down. We're not going to worry about the how, the time, the energy, the money, none of it. All I want you to know is that you want it. And so this universal shopping list is going to be your ideal list. I want you just to start to brain dump all the things that you desire. And I really want you to allow yourself to dream. So many people stopped dreaming so long ago because things started to get hard and things came up for you. And I want you to remember the energy, the curiosity, the possibility to dream that you had when you were a child. There's so much magic in children. I remember when I found out there was no Santa, I cried. I believed in Santa so much. I was like, what do you mean there's no Santa? What about magic and flying reindeers? And all those gifts came from our parents. I couldn't believe it. And so once upon a time, you did believe and dream and possibility and that anything could happen for you. And then things got in your way and started to dim your light. And instead, I just want you to write it all down. Anything. Where do you want to travel? How much money? What's the business, the type of clients? Like, I don't care if you want new underwear or a new Mercedes, like, write it all down because it really can begin to show up for you. We've been teaching this workshop since 2021. And I really wish I'd kept a list of the wins of all the people who do this workshop because so much magic happens every single time. And it all first starts with allowing yourself to dream and be in possibility. So I want you to not only fill this out, I want you to keep it and like add to it regularly. So much magic in this universal shopping list. And then as the things come, I want you to check it off and write thank you. And you can write thank you 3 times if you really want to be in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a moment and start jotting things down. And if you are catching this on replays, you're welcome to pause and fill it out along the way, or just do it all after the session is over, whatever works for you. So far we've begun to dream. Think about what is that quality of life, the legacy, what's our vision? It maybe you're 40. What do you want the next 40 years to look like? I want you to really allow yourself to dream and then drop everything down on the universal shopping list, anything and everything that you could be, do, or have. And now we're going to begin to build the dream state. So now we're going to start to make a goal. There's really, really, really important to have a goal. And why that is because if we don't have goals, we're wandering aimlessly. If we don't have goals and we're not committed, then we're constantly doing one thing part of the way and then switching to something else, getting part of the way. And we never truly stick to one thing long enough to get it done and done well. And so I want you to pause and ask yourself one thing right now. What is the one thing right now that will make the biggest difference for you? And I want you to turn that into a SMART goal. So if you want, you can write, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, or I'm doing, and I'm being, insert the goal by with a deadline. And so a SMART goal is specific, measurable, realistic, attainable, and time bound. So it's not a goal without a deadline. We want it to be specific and measurable, because otherwise, how would you know you've achieved it? And attainable and realistic. And why we bring in the realistic now after we've already cast the vision is because we are going to start to put a plan into place. And we need to pick the one thing right now that would be realistic that we could put a plan into place. If you said, I'd like 1,000 new clients, and the universe was like, no problem, here's your 1,000 new clients. Can you take that on right now? Do you have the standard operating procedures, the teams, the processes? Do you have everything set up evergreen? No problem. You can just load them in and white glove service. Amazing. If not, what would be realistic for you to be able to take on right now? And I bet you all of us would love 100 new clients. So maybe that's your goal. So it might sound like, I am so happy and grateful now that I've signed the perfect new 100 new premium paying clients in 2025 with ease, grace, and success. And they leave a positive impact and a legacy of love and add massive value to the community and have massive success. Very specific. I love affirmations. And so you can add in all the affirmations you want to this goal. So what's that one thing you want the most right now? Or write it down. There's also a goal card in this workbook for you that you can put your goal onto, which you will then create your future memory to go along with it tomorrow. So we'll have a goal card and a visualization to go along with it. So now I'm going to ask you, what needs to be done to make this happen? We're not committing to anything at this moment. I just want you to start to brain dump and make a list. So what would need to happen? Say we're doing the 100 new clients. What would need to happen within the business to be able to smoothly onboard and serve these 100 new clients? What would need to happen in the business to have enough conversations or do enough ads and bring in enough leads to close 100 new clients? Maybe you're really good and you have a 50% close rate. So for every 2 consults you have, you close 1. And so that would mean you would need to have 200 conversations over the next year. And so we've got about 6.5 months left. And so I like to take the last 2 weeks off. So let's say 6 months for easy figuring. So over the next 6 months, how could we have 200 calls? And so then we're going to start to actually make actions. So if you wanted to have 200 calls over the next 6 months, what actions book the calls? Okay, so we see how sales is a byproduct. We talked about that in the pre-bonus session of other actions that we're doing. And so right now we're just making a list of all the things that would need to get done to make this goal a reality. All the things, whatever it is, just write it down. And then we're going to commit to one action that we could do right now that would begin to help us move closer to that goal. Now, the action you're going to decide on is going to be a quantum leap action. So, what is the one thing that you could do right now that makes everything else easy, unnecessary, or obsolete, and will help you get the largest result in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort. Now we're slightly going through all the stages right now because I know for some people, they commit to things and they don't go through it. So if you only made it to session 1, you will still get so much from it. And if you want the full experience, you have to go through all 3 days of magic with us and the bonuses. But really, this is going to help you just get it all started right now, this day 1 work. So what is that one thing you want right now? Turn it into a SMART goal. What needs to be done to make it happen? Make that list. And then we're going to pick the one thing on the list that we could get started with today. Okay, all in? We're all in. We're all going to pick one thing that we could do today that's going to move us closer to our goal. And now remember, when we go to do the thing, we're going to do it in the energy and the state of the goal achieved. And we're going to do it with expectancy. We're going to expect our desired outcome. So any questions so far? And let us know in the chat, what is your goal? And what is your action that you're taking? What is your one thing? Now, the goal is amazing, but often it's not the goal that we want. It's what the goal allows for us. So if I was to ask you, what will be different for you once you have this? Could you answer that? So start to think, what in your life is going to be different once you have this goal? So now we're future casting. You're going to pause for a moment. Take yourself to the moment of the state of the goal achieved. What's different for you now that we're living with this goal achieved? So if we're thinking we have 100 new clients, I bet you your revenue would be different. Your team might look different. Your standard operating procedures might look different. What else might be different for you? Maybe you're taking more vacations, you're traveling. What's different for you now that you've achieved it? And really start to enter the spirit of the goal achieved. And now, if you're already in our community, I know you have your goals set up for the year. And so the next part of the workbook is to write out your top 3 biggest desires for the year. So we just decided on one. You're going to put it in the top there, the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you. And then I would encourage you to pick one personal and one professional or business goal. So our top 3 desires, you're going to have that number one thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you. And then you're going to pick one personal goal and one business goal. And you're going to write that down. Or if you know you have your top 3 goals already, go ahead and write it down. Now, a reminder that you are 25% more likely to achieve your goals when you read them and write them regularly and daily, or review them, however that looks, if it's listening to them, writing them, reading them. But there is so much magic in putting pen to paper and actually writing them every day. And did you know that when you write them every day, you're more likely to achieve it 40% faster? So is it worth taking 5 to 10 minutes every morning to write gratitude in your goals? Or maybe even a half hour, maybe you want to write lots, to be 25% more likely to achieve your goals and 40% quicker? It's 24 hours in a day. What is 30 minutes if it can speed up your results and get you more of what you want now instead of someday? So we're all going to start to write our goals and our gratitude every day. So we're just wrapping up now. So any questions, drop it in the chat. I'm going to review what the homework is. So you're going to pick one thing you want the most that you want to manifest now, right now. Maybe you're going to do it this week. And you're going to pick your top 3 desires for 2025. You're going to stay in a state of possibility and only entertain the idea of how it will work for you. And remember, you can always reach for a better feeling thought. So no matter what thoughts come your way, you're going to observe them and focus on what you desire and stay in a state of possibility and positivity. So you can always reach for a better feeling thought. So if you're not feeling good, it's because you're having negative thoughts. And so, or we're in fear, worry, doubt, guilt, shame, whatever it is, it's causing our thoughts, cause our feelings. So we'll talk about the biology of belief tomorrow. And so you can always reach for a better feeling thought, one that's a little bit more in possibility. So the moment that negative thought comes in, cancel it, come back to the attitude of gratitude, and begin to observe what you currently expect. So we're looking, remember, our mind thinks in pictures and it comes to pass. Our environment is but our looking glass. So if we look at our environment, it'll tell us what we've actually been expecting. The results that we're getting is actually what we unconsciously expect. And so what would you prefer to expect instead? And start to expect magic and miracles and believe in it and expect different results. Now, of course, you're going to complete the questions in the workbook. And most importantly, I want you to keep adding to that universal shopping list. And if this is your first time doing a universal shopping list, you're welcome, because it is so much fun. And it really does speed up manifesting, because we let go and let God. We put it on, then we just let it go. And then often the things will start to show up for you. Or you'll go out, it'll be on sale, or there'll only be one left and it's going to be perfect in your size. Everything actually does start to work out for you. And then I would challenge you to go live in our own community on Facebook and introduce yourself and share us what's the one thing you picked from your universal shopping list. Remember, you get what you expect, so declare it. And then you're going to take that goal and you're going to put it on a goal card, and you're going to bring that goal card back tomorrow. And we're going to create a future memory and a visualization that goes along with it. And I really, really would love for you to book your vision casting call so that we can actually go even deeper on that together and customize it together. So, reminder, come back tomorrow. And just for today, be in possibility and expect magic and miracles. And we'll see you back for tomorrow for session 2 on thoughts. And then on Wednesday for plan and action, Thursday, open house mastermind, and Friday, our bonus belief session, 1 p.m. ET all week long. So come and join us. Let's have some fun. This is my favorite workshop to teach and do. I'm doing it alongside of you, and I'm here to support you. So if you have any questions, just reach out. And remember, we're going to keep our energy positive this week. We're canceling everything else. We're staying in an attitude of gratitude, staying in a state of possibility, and we're going to just allow ourselves to dream. So just for today, we're going to go on a mental diet, cancel all the negativity, expect magic and miracles, and own our mind, our energy, and our actions. And so thank you so much again for your time and energy today. I'll see you back tomorrow. Keep up the amazing work. Have fun filling out the workbook. I'll see you on your vision casting calls. And remember, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, and what is the best that can happen. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.